Hey everybody, today we're going to show you how to find all 33 Korok seeds here on Mount Lanayru in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Seed number 1 is going to be found on the northwestern side of the mountain, right over here by this little cluster of trees. When you make it over here, you'll find there's one tree that doesn't have any leaves on it. It's basically just a giant stick. All you need to do is climb to the top, the cluster of leaves will appear, and you'll get seed number 1. Number 2 is also going to be on the northwestern side of the map in this location, right around here. When you make it over here, you'll find a giant block of ice with a glowing dandelion on the top. Just hit that dandelion with an arrow and just wait for it to float down. All you need to do is catch it before it touches the ground. And if you do so correctly, the Korok will appear and you'll get seed number 2. Number 3 is going to be found on the far northeastern side of the mountain over by the water. And you can actually see we have some rocks on the map here. When you get over here, you want to climb to the biggest rock. And when you get to the top, you'll see a circle of seaweed in the water. Just dive through the middle. Once you do, the Korok will appear and you'll get seed number 3. Number 4 is also on the northeastern side of the mountain. You guys can see our location right here in this little cluster of trees. And once you make it up here, you'll find a cork. There's also going to be a log that's laying on the ground. Go ahead and pick that up and attach it to the cork. And then you can pick it up and throw it off the ledge. And this will be just heavy enough to open the other side and have the Korok pop out, and we'll get seed number 4. Number 5 is on the far eastern side of the map by the water. You guys can actually see we have some small rocks on your map that you can use for reference when finding the location. But the first thing you want to do is fly over to the bigger rock on the left side and grab the flower on the top. And then you're just going to drop down and follow this flower around the rocks until you get to the final white flower, which you can grab. The Korok will appear and you'll get seed number 5. Our next location is pretty much in the exact same spot. We're just going to head inland a little bit further northwest. When you make it up here, you're going to find a hole in the ground with a giant boulder. Go ahead and use Ultra Hand to pick that up. And we're just going to carry it all the way up this dirt path up the hill until we get to the little stand that we can drop it in. You drop this thing into place. The Korok will appear and you'll be rewarded with seed number 6. Number 7 is going to be found on the eastern side of Walnut Mountain. Here is the location on your screen. And once you make it over here, you'll find a little circle of rocks with one missing. The missing rock is going to be all the way over here on the ledge. So you can come pick this thing up and bring it back. And again, just a basic circle. You can just drop this thing into place. It should stay. The Korok will appear and you'll get seed number 7. Number 8 is going to be found down by Mapla Point. You actually can see on the map, we've got some rocks that are out in the ocean here. And once you make it over here, one of the rocks is going to have a cork. All you need to do is pick up that cork, dunk it in the water, and let go, and it'll pop up, revealing the Korok and giving you seed number 8. Number 9 is also going to be found down by Mapla Point. This is going to be right in the middle on the peak of the mountain that's down here. And once you make it up top, you'll find a small little rock. Just go ahead and pick that thing up, and you'll get seed number 9. Number 10 is going to be found on the far western side of the Mapla Point, down by the beach. Once you make it over here, you'll find the puzzle. The piece is going to be on the top, and you want to rotate this thing to where you have the row of 3 blocks on the far left. So not like how I just did it here. We want to rotate it one more time, 3 on the left, 2 on the middle, and 1 on the right, and it should fit in there just perfectly, and you'll be rewarded with seed number 10. Our next location is going to be just south of the Mount Lanayru Skyview Tower. On this little peak right here, you can see we have a tree on the map. We want to climb to the top of this tree. So go ahead and grab on, climb your way to the top. And when you get up here, a little cluster of leaves will spawn. You can interact with them and get seed number 11. Number 12 is going to be really close by. We're just going to head to the peak that's a little bit further west. So you can see here at Madorna Mountain, this time we're going to be on the western peak. And there's going to be another tree up here that we can climb. So go ahead and climb to the top of this. Once you make it up top, interact with the little cluster of leaves and you'll get seed number 12. For number 13, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go to the next peak in line. So just a little bit further west, another peak with a tree on the top. Up here, again, just climb to the very top of this tree. Once you get up to the top, the leaves will appear. You can interact and you'll be rewarded with seed number 13. Number 14 and 15 are going to be found together down in the Nidra snowfield, just northwest of the shrine location. Once you make it out here, you'll find our little Korok buddy who needs help making it to the top of the mountain. Now, across from where the Korok is located, we're going to have materials to put together a vehicle. So go ahead and build yourself a little car, and then we can throw our Korok buddy on the front, and we'll drive up the mountain. Now, I made a couple mistakes that I'm going to show you so you don't mess up. But when you go up the mountain, you want to initially go to the right. You guys can see that I went to the left because I thought I could make it up right here. You're not going to be able to make it up right here. As you can see, we just fell back down, got stuck in between trees. So you want to work your way to the right side when you start going up the mountain. So we'll move this thing around. We'll head up to the right, and you want to stay right. There's actually a path you can follow. I tried to take a shortcut and go up the mountain right here. But if you stay to the right, you'll see that there's a very easy path that you can just drive along all the way up to the top. You shouldn't encounter any enemies as you drive by that will attack you while you're on the vehicle. And once you make it up here, you'll see the campsite. We can go ahead and speak with the Korok, and we'll get our next 2 seeds. Our next location is going to be found on the eastern side of the Nervado Lake. You can actually see on your map we have rocks in the shape of a moon. There's going to be one rock that's missing here, which will be right over here by the water. You can go ahead and pick that thing up, fill in the moon here, and once you drop it into place, our Korok will appear, and you'll get seed number 16. Number 17 is going to be found over by the Purifier Lake that's west of Mount Lanayru. You guys can see the lake here, and you'll find a puzzle when you get over here. The piece is going to be attached to the front. You want to bring it over here to the left side, and we're going to rotate it to stick out to the left like it does on the front. So we can rotate it like so, attach it to the back, and once you do, the Korok will appear, and you'll get seed number 17. Number 18 is going to be found on top of the Peak of Awakening. You guys can just climb all the way to the top of this mountain. When you make it up here, we're going to have a cork as well as some slabs. Go ahead and attach one of the slabs to the cork and drop it off the back side of the mountain. And once you do, it's going to pull the cork out. Our Korok will appear, and we'll get seed number 18. Number 19 is going to be found on the Lanayru Promenade. You can see our location is actually right next to the staircase. And what you want to do is jump over the edge and go under the stairs right here. And you'll find a little rock. Go ahead and pick that thing up, and we'll get seed number 19. Number 20 is going to be found just south of the Lanayru Promenade. It's actually going to be on the cliff side up here. There's going to be a tree that's hanging over the ledge with a flower next to it. When you walk over that flower, we're just going to follow this thing around the edge of the mountain. We'll have our next one up top here. Our fourth one's going to be up by the tree, so we can climb up, grab this one. Our next one's right here behind us, and then we're going to drop down to this rock. We'll then drop down even further. Now, once you're here, what you want to do is grab onto the wall and climb up, and then we're just going to fly across to this little archway, and our flower is going to be on top of this pillar. Once we grab this, we're going to jump all the way down to this platform in the corner, and our final flower is going to be down in this little hexagon or octagon area, and that'll be your white flower, and that's going to give you seed number 20. Number 21 is going to be found on the far western side of the Lanayru Promenade. We're going to have another tree that's on the edge here. In this tree, we don't actually need to climb. We just need to shoot the acorn that's hanging from the branch. So go ahead and hit that acorn. Our Korok will appear, and we'll get seed number 21. Number 22 is going to be on the land just northwest of the Lanayru Promenade. You can see our location here. And once you make it up here, you'll find a giant hole with a boulder in the ground. Go ahead and pick up that boulder and turn around and carry this all the way up the hillside. You'll have a little path that you can follow here. And at the top is going to be a rock with our wooden stand on the top. Go ahead and line this thing up right so you can put it in place. And once you drop this thing into the stand, a little poof will happen. Our Korok will appear, and we'll get seed number 22. Number 23 is going to be found over by Trotter's Downfall. You'll actually be able to see the little formation of rocks on your map. There's 2 squares here, and we need 1 rock, and it's going to be found on the giant rock behind it. So if you run over to this giant rock here, we can climb up on the side. We're going to run up to the top, and there's going to be a really small rock on the top. You can go ahead and pick that up and just drop it over the ledge. You don't have to carry it all the way back down. You can then jump down and pick this thing up, and we're going to just drop it into place here at this square. Once you get this thing lined up, it'll poof. The Korok will appear, and you'll get seed number 23. Number 24 and 25 are going to be found together over by the Arabia Plain. You can see we have a small pond here, and right next to the pond is going to be our little Korok buddy that needs help making it up on top of the mountain. Now, you can actually carry him around the back side of that mountain and get him up there pretty easily, but if you're lazy and don't feel like taking the time to carry him all the way over there, you can make a little airplane, and I recommend taking off on the left so that you don't run directly into the mountain, but you can then just turn around and fly back over, drop him off, and get your next 2 Korok seeds. Number 26 is going to be found just north of the Arabia Plain. You'll actually see this giant tree on your map at the top of the hill. You want to work your way up to that tree, and you'll find a hidden acorn hiding in the leaves here. Go ahead and hit that with an arrow. The Korok will appear, and you'll get seed number 26. Number 27 is going to be found right in the middle of the Arabia Plain. You can actually see there's one single tree here where we're standing on the map, and all we need to do is climb up to the top of this tree. So go ahead and climb up. There'll be one little rock up here. Go ahead and pick that thing up. and you'll get seed number 27. Number 28 is going to be found on the southern side of Quada's shelf. You can actually see there's a small little peak down here. You want to climb all the way up to the top where there's 3 statues and a plate. There's going to be 1 apple in the plate, and to get the seed, we need to add 2 more apples. So there's a total of 3. And once there's 3 apples in the plate, the Korok will appear, and you'll get seed number 28. Number 29 is going to be found on the northwestern side of Quada's shelf. We're going to head over to the cliffs. There's going to be one big tree down here that we want to interact with. If you run up to the tree, you're going to find a hidden balloon hiding in the leaves. Go ahead and hit that balloon with an arrow, and you'll get seed number 29. Number 30 and 31 are going to be found together on top of East Hill. And once you make it up here, you'll find our little Korok buddy hanging out who's going to need help making it all the way over to the other side of these mountains. This is a really good distance, so you're absolutely going to need an airplane to get him over there. However, you do want to be careful as you're flying over there, as it's a pretty small hill and it's easy to accidentally fly over the location and have to go all the way back up the mountain. So you can see that we're just going to use an airplane. We're going to fly all the way across. And once we make it over here, crash land right into the campsite or at the bottom of the hill so that you don't go over, and you'll get your next 2 seeds. Number 32 is going to be just southeast of East Hill, down by the little pond that's surrounded by trees. And if you come down to the pond, there's going to be a bridge. Underneath that bridge is an acorn that's hanging from a chain. Go ahead and shoot that acorn, and you'll get seed number 32. Our 33rd and final seed for the region is going to be found on the very top of the Pierre Plateau. You guys can see our peak here. And once you make it up top, there'll be a circle of rocks. We're just going to take the small one outside of the circle and complete the circle. And once you do, the Korok will appear, and you'll get seed number 33. But this is how to find all 33 Korok seeds here on Mount Lanayru. If you guys have any other questions, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.